Okay.
All right.
Say hi.
Good morning. Hello. Good afternoon.
So thank you all for coming and for these great presentations, including this one. But I think we should give Kim Vicario a big round of applause. He's worked for months on this. I think this is just the most interesting morning. They get better every year, so thank you, Kim. Let's see. Many of you, most of you are familiar, but we have new people moving in all the time, and who are not familiar with the Friends Group, our mission statement is to inspire appreciation and understanding of the beauty, biodiversity, and heritage of Cave Creek Canyon. And so we do that in several different ways, keeping the visitor center staffed with volunteers, and we depend totally on volunteers. And that's for both people visiting the area and people who live here. Education is huge, and Margaret will be talking about that. It's so exciting what she's doing. We're so lucky to have her. Trail work, being on the trails certainly helps people appreciate and understand the mountains. So we do that with the Chiricahua Regional Council, we help fund trail work. Willow Tank, Reen Donaldson has been handling Willow Tank for a while, and we're going to do something later this week. And we also sometimes sponsor scientific research. We'd like to do more of that. So let me move forward here. Whoops. Oh. I should be looking at what we're looking at here. Well, it kind of covered most of that. So there we go. Oh, the collaborations, Peaceful Chiricahua Skies. Kim, you can go on their website. Kim helps manage that. It's the Air Force threat to the canyon and this whole area of very low flights, very loud flights, new aircraft, and it's quite, sorry? Go forward. Okay. Let me go forward here. Oh, well, Willow Tank. Okay, we're going through a couple of things here. We're going to have a planning meeting this week on the 23rd to discuss the future of managing Willow Tank. We need more volunteers. We need more ideas. It's looking beautiful, as you can see if you stop in there. It's about 2 miles south of here on Sulphur Canyon Road. And a wonderful it's the biggest wildlife water source really in the whole valley, in the San Simon Valley, and got a lot of migrating birds and animals too stopping in there. So we're going to meet at the library on, I think that's Tuesday in the afternoon, 3 p.m. So please come if you're interested in having your voice heard. If you'd like to volunteer, there are lots of stuff to do. And another upcoming event is the first Saturday in October. The ranger station, as it was known, now it's the visitor center, was completed in 1925. So it's the 100th anniversary, and we're having a party. And it's going to be fun. There'll be talks, old pictures, ice cream, cookies. It'll be a good time. So please come and join us. And, this is for tomorrow. So you'll know where you are. Margaret and Dirk are going to give this wonderful lecture tomorrow morning. That is tomorrow, yes.
Not a lecture, hands-on.
Oh, hands-on, sorry. You will learn. Another thing we do is the annual garden party, which has gotten more and more successful. And I think we had like 130 people this year. Wonderful food, just great volunteers. And as I mentioned, trail work, we've done a lot of that, helped restore all the trails on this side of the Chiricahuas. And here is what I mentioned about the Peaceful Chiricahua Skies. Please go to their website. See, there's still time to put in more comments. There have been several comment periods, but it's just a frightful proposal that they have. And we're also a sponsor of this wonderful bioacoustic study group to try to monitor with a baseline versus what happens when there are these overflights. And several volunteers are donating their time and efforts for this. And here is Margaret. Thank you.
Thank you, Reed. Oh, thanks. Okay, forward. Okay, thank you. I want to thank the Friends of Cave Creek Canyon Board of Directors and the greater community for your support and the opportunity to do this work, because it's the best. I'm super happy and I'm super grateful and honored to be here. So I'm going to talk about the sort of three-pronged approach that I've taken to education here in the Canyon, and that includes K-12 students, the general community, and then also working with educators from across the state. So the theme that runs through all of that, is using the Canyon as a classroom. So here you can see some students from Douglas doing just that. The other theme that runs through all of the education programming is using nature journaling. So going out with a blank notebook, and you are having your own experience, recording it with words, pictures, and numbers, which leads to asking questions, gathering data, and that sort of thing. So encouraging students to think like scientists. The education got a reboot in the spring of 2023. So last year was our first full session with area schools, and we engaged 191 students from 9 different schools and 17 different teachers. So those are pretty busy in the spring, especially. When the students come, well, not only do they come to the classroom, come to the classroom in the Canyon, I go to classrooms of local students too. So this is in Apache. We were doing nature journaling. Each student had their own emery oak leaf, and then they drew them, sketched them, wrote about them, and then they put them in a pile and traded notebooks, and they could all find each other's specific emery oak from the information that they had written down, emery oak leaf. But here you see students becoming tree experts. They learn 3 trees, they make journal entries, and then we go and mix the groups up. Every group has an expert, and we go out on the trail and they can identify. They rely on each other to learn what the trees are. So we don't use field guides. We let the kids be the field guides. We did macroinvertebrates, but we're not doing that now for all the reasons that you just heard about. There's no water, so not many macroinvertebrates. I don't want to bother them. The students could make casts of some of our mammals that are found here, and through the generous support and collaboration with SWARS, the Southwest Research Station, and also with community members who have skulls, the students have been able to see and hold and experience, look at a variety of skulls and learn, about the adaptations for predators and herbivores and things like that. And then, of course, hiking. When we conclude a program, I always ask the students some reflecting questions. And one of them is, what's one thing you would take away from this day that might change your life? And the most frequently given response is, I'm going to tell my mom I need to go outside and be quiet. Something to that effect, that they want to spend more time in nature, alone and quiet. I don't know how that translates when they leave, but that is a sentiment that they leave the canyon with often. The other thing part of my work is community outreach, and so we have a nature journaling group that we started. I started it so that I would do it, and I've had great response from the community. This is a wonderful picture of us nature journaling that Alina did. We meet every 2 weeks approximately, usually at Cave Creek Ranch, and we have different, we might do insects, we might do plants, we might do birds or landscapes. But Alina chose to draw all of us sitting around doing our private nature journaling, which I thought was wonderful. Also, we have conducted bio-blitzes. We have one in the spring that goes with Community Science Month, and then one in the fall that goes with National Public Lands Day, which is actually next Saturday. So our bio-blitz this fall is going to start on Thursday, the 25th, and go through Tuesday, the 30th. So if you're here, all you need is an iNaturalist account. You can just log on, and I can talk to you about it during the break. And you just need a camera or a phone. Phone's the best because you can just upload it to your account, and if you do that, anywhere in the geographic region of the Coronado Forest and the Chiricahuas, between those two dates, it'll automatically be uploaded. So it's a great way to get people outdoors. You can take a hike, you can sit in one place and document the plants, the animals, and the biodiversity of this amazing place. We've also held a bat night in June, the last 2 years, with the wonderful Janet Tyburek, and she talks to us about her experience of studying bats for the last 30 years in the canyon, and then also nets them and catches them and brings them so we can see how how she measures the data, and you can see these bats up close. It's fabulous. Hopefully we'll do that next June too, up at SWORS. Also, there are a number of people that share their data with me. Gordon with the bioacoustic data, so much data for students or you if you have questions and you want to access to that data. And many people also share their wildlife camera images. I'm always interested in that, and I'm hoping that some students will take up some projects maybe related to that, looking at when and where our animals show up on the wildlife cameras. And then the third, I wanted to say I roughly keep track of who attends these events, and 256 people, some of these are repeating people, but it is 256 of you have joined me, and I appreciate that very much. Yeah. And I was going to say, we also had 15 volunteers with the K-12 education outreach over the years, so that's great, in addition to the 191 students. And the last thing that we've been able to do, and this is through the generous support of the Thomas R. Brown Foundations in Tucson, we held our first teacher professional development retreat at SWORS this year. It was in June, from June 10th to the 15th. So it was 6 days, 5 nights. One of the goals was treat these teachers really well, give them a break, a chance to restore, a chance to be out in nature, which they truly appreciated. This is June in the canyon. It's hot, it's dry. We went from 6 in the morning till 9 at night. There were no breaks, really, except they got to sit in their quiet spot for 15 minutes in the morning before breakfast. But we incorporated nature journaling, which you can see, hiking, transect work. That was like at 3 in the afternoon on the nature trail. It was well over 100 degrees. And they came out of the transects, which if you've ever done a plant transects, most people don't like them because they take you have to follow the line wherever it goes. And they came out with big smiles and said, that was fun. I was like, really? It was awesome. It was an awesome group of teachers. We were able to accept 20 teachers from across the state. But 7 of those teachers were from Cochise County, so from Douglas, Palominos, Bisbee, Benson, and Tombstone. We had preschool teachers all the way through high school. So you can see some of their nature journaling. We had them doing what are called ethograms, so behavior studies of birds at Cave Creek Ranch. There's another example of becoming tree experts. And we're trying to get funding to reconvene these teachers in a couple of weeks out at SWORS for a couple of days, just so we can sort of hear how they're doing and reinforce what they learned. We did have a Zoom with them the other day, and some of their kids have been out at least 1 day a week since school started with journals in their own schoolyard, which is fantastic. And I'm applying for funding, trying to get grants to continue this, because I have to say this was just it was called Teachers in the Wild, and it wildly exceeded our expectations. It was incredible. And there was one other thing I wanted to say. We put some flyers around on the doors for things related to Cave Creek Canyon, so the education program, the Bio Blitz, but there is a flyer up there that has a QR code on it. If you know how to use that with your phone, just take a picture and it will take you right to the site. But we have a 7-minute video on YouTube, the testimonials of these teachers. If you want some good news, and you want to feel happy, please check that out. And I just want to thank everybody and thank FOCCC. And thank you. Is it lunchtime, Kim?